I'm about to make the biggest mistake in the history of this YouTube channel, and that is to cover a topic that Moist Critical just covered, okay? But today I have to make an exception to that rule and cover this story because Casey Anthony is trying to become a influencer, and even more crazy than that, she's trying to become a legal advocate. So before I get into today's debauchery, hey, hi, hello, my name is the bad boy Dan Frampton. Welcome to The Art of Slop, where we make daily commentary videos on stuff that's happening on the internet. Likes and subs, let's go. I'm in here to rip darts and whip arse, and unfortunately for Casey Anthony, I'm all out of darts. So if you're not familiar with who Casey Anthony is, let me give you a quick reminder. We're not going to get into all the nitty-gritty of this case, but in 2011, she was charged with first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, aggravated manslaughter of a child, and 4 counts of providing false information to police. That essentially means she was charged for killing her daughter, whose name was Kaylee, R.I.P. And when this case was happening, it was pretty damning. I don't want to get into all of the details here. There are so many videos, podcasts, documentaries, and everything made about this topic, but the crux of this story is that Casey Anthony wasn't sentenced to anything. The case was acquitted, and Casey Anthony was allowed to just walk free, to absolutely everybody's bemusement. Even the jurors on the case couldn't believe that they were setting her free. According to one of the jurors, they said this, quote, "Generally, none of us liked Casey Anthony at all. She seems like a horrible person, but the prosecutors didn't give us enough evidence to convict. They gave us a lot of stuff to think that she did something wrong, but not beyond a reasonable doubt." Juror number 3 went on to add this, "We were sick to our stomachs to give her that verdict. We were crying, and not just the women. It was emotional, and we weren't ready." End quote. Another female juror said this about the verdict, quote, "I did what I could do based on the evidence that we got, but the people watching at home could see the sidebars and the commentary. They knew much more about the case than I did. I hated being on that jury. I really wish I hadn't been, but I don't know what else I would have done." End quote. All of those quotes were given to People magazine in 2018, 7 years after the case. People were carrying this around for so long, and I'm sure that they still are. If you're familiar with the case, Casey Anthony's parents are very suspicious of their daughter. Extremely so, actually. But then it came out yesterday that Casey Anthony is back in the news. She wants to be an influencer and legal counsel. Well, not legal counsel, that would be illegal. She wants to offer legal advocacy. The woman's Google search that had surefire methods of suffocation in it is the one out here trying to give people legal counsel or legal advice or whatever. That's gotta be some of the most batshit crazy stuff I've heard all year. And from what I can gather, she took to TikTok to reintroduce herself to people, being like, "Hey guys, I'm Casey Anthony, I'm back!" And from that TikTok, I think what she's doing is sending people to her Substack, which is kind of like a Patreon for journalists, and then from there, she's going to give people advice. I don't necessarily think she can give legal counsel, but according to her, she entered the field in 2011, and that gives her the experience necessary to help people out in their legal fights. Absolutely wild. So let's go check out that TikTok that is so poorly filmed for somebody that wants to be an influencer. We're gonna go through this reaction video style where I play a little bit of her, I react to it, we go back and forth like that. So no screaming in the comments about, "Hey, he's always pausing." Or you can, I like the engagement. Likes, comments, and subs. Let's go. Okay, Casey Anthony, roll it.
We're sweat to death. Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. This is my first of probably many recordings.
First of many probably recordings? I hope not. Casey Anthony. All of this stuff at the very beginning of the video should have been cut out. All of that like self-waving, being like, oh my god, it's so hot in here. How am I gonna do this? That is the stuff you cut out of a video. That is called the fat. You trim the fat from these recordings. But this is just a raw recording at the worst angle ever. You know in the armrest of your car or whatever, how it has that little like compartment or whatever? It seems like she set the phone in that little compartment and then hit record. It's like perfect angle. Let's go.
I am a legal advocate.
A legal advocate. She's not fit to be a legal advocate. She's proving to me she's not even fit to be an influencer out here, which there's a much lower bar to be than legal advocate. Casey Anthony, give me a break.
I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011.
I'm a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011. That is crazy to frame what you've done like that. That is absolutely, I'm gonna say the word again, batshit. Jesus Christ, one more time.
I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011.
A researcher. Surefire ways of suffocation. Let me remind you, that's the level of research that this lady is known to do. Back in.
And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself.
Appropriately? What does this lady know about appropriate? If I'm going to continue to act appropriately. Jesus Christ, the gall, the nerve, the absolute audacity.
And also advocate for my daughter. For those of you who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony. My
We're well aware, Casey. We're well aware.
daughter is Kaylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done.
What I really hope that this turns into is just like her and her parents fighting back and forth on the internet again.
That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done.
Please do. Absolutely please do. That's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be doing legal advocacy. You got away with something absolutely wild. You're definitely like the O.J. Simpson story of the 2010s. Hey, TikTok world!
The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself. I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity.
A professional capacity. Oh, you mean like a robot? Like an unemotional robot? I'm pretty sure that's exactly what you're like, Casey Anthony. I don't think somebody with like human emotions or somebody that does things that you've been accused of doing would know how to speak in any other cadence than this. All right, back in, I suppose.
My goal is to continue to help give a voice to people, to give people tools and resources that they can utilize so they actually know where they can turn to.
Okay, so that seems like she's not exactly going to be the one giving the advice. She's going to be like, oh, you really got to talk to this lawyer. This lawyer knows what to do in this situation. Oh, you got to consult this group over here if you're in this type of situation. That's what she knows. Cool. Expertise, I suppose.
So with that, please join me on Substack.
Substack. Oh my God. Egregious.
If you have questions, I will set up an email address where we can correspond directly. Up until this point, that has never happened. And it's only going to be on a limited basis regarding legal issues, legal matters.
Amazing. Do we have any people in this Substack that are there for research purposes? Journalists, get on this. Get in there and start asking her questions. She's opening herself to answering questions right now. Should the bad boy jump in? Should the bad boy do it, chat?
One of the main reasons that I'm doing this, there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. There are also people close to me who have had some recent things occur. And
recent things occur. All right, so it's go time now for Casey Anthony. She means business. She has a lot of advice and advocacy in her that she just needs to get out right now for personal and professional reasons. I'm gonna leave that there. There's like a little ticking in the background as well. Like, not only is this framed poorly from a composition visual stance, it's also framed poorly in a journalistic sense. I've been in the field since 2011. Give me a break, Casey Anthony. You've been accused of putting somebody else in the field, I'll tell you that much for free. And then on top of that, there's this ticking. Yeah, she's got the four-ways going because she's pulled off to the side of the road here. It is totally amateur hour out here. Unforgivable behavior, Casey Anthony. Everything about you is a bad person. I can't believe it, you can't believe it, Critical can't believe believe it. Paris Hilton can't believe it. Perez Hilton even can't believe it. From TMZ to Twitter, the world is going crazy about this Casey Anthony situation. And rightfully so, it's mind-boggling. But until future updates, that's where the situation is right now. Okay, goodbye, see you later, have a good one.